As Maria Shriver once said, Arnold, if this doesn't kill your career, nothing will. This is Red Sonja on Stinger Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at me!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at me!
No one! Hang on!
It stinks.
Hang on!
Get to the chopper! Stinger Madness.
Hello and welcome to Red Sonja, Red Stinker Madness.
Shut up, Maria Shriver! You're ruining my life!
This is Stinger Madness, a podcast where we watch a bad movie and then talk about it for an hour or so. I'm your host, Justin. With me are always Sam and Jackie. Hello to you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Jackie, you picked this movie.
I did.
You've seen it before, too.
You've seen it. This was a fan request from, I believe, Michael M., our fan Michael M. Is that why you chose this, just to throw a fan a solid, or...
Well, yeah. I mean, I realized that he had suggested it, but this one's been on my radar. So I figured it was time. Me and Michael, we needed this.
Well, it certainly does stink.
It does
It
stink.
does qualify in that regard.
Whatever, the hat maker and the helmet maker for this movie were on so many drugs.
Okay, let's just go straight to you. It's your pick. You can get all the costume talk out of the way.
One, a queen that has multiple crowns that all look like the top of a steamboat. That's pretty cool. Two, every helmet was fucking ridiculous.
Yes, very much so.
The guys that carry the talisman had, were those antenna?
There was like bull horns, like steer horns, on top of a skull, on top of a upside down walk.
Yeah.
They couldn't see anything.
No. And all of the helmets had to weigh a fucking ton,
Oh,
too.
yeah. And I think when they're not carrying the talisman, she just, makes them stand in the corner so the reception to CBS is better.
Yes, indeed. Elaborate costumes, pretty outlandish set design.
A lot of the characters had mullets.
Yes, the hair was quite bad.
Red Sonja's hair was, oh my god.
Oh, man. All right, let's just get straight to Brigitte Nielsen, who this is her third appearance on Stinker Madness, I believe.
Cobra was one.
Cobra and Mercenaries.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot she's in that.
Yeah, directed by Son of Olenray.
So I'm sure we've already gone to the me going, she's not the hot.
Brigitte Nielsen, I'm pretty sure we've covered that substantially.
Yeah, I'm not down.
She is also not the action.
She's not the acting either.
Or the acting. She won a Razzie for this.
She should have.
Yeah.
She was terrible.
Worst new star. And she didn't win worst actress. So, unfortunately, I didn't take the time to research who did in 1985. Sandal Bergman was also nominated for worst supporting actress. So
I thought she was great in this.
She cleaned her up. She cleaned up her act by about 3/4 of the way through, but towards the front end, she was not doing good.
She couldn't. Oh man, this combo of leading ladies. Oh boy.
Did you know that Sandal Bergman actually turned down the lead
to beat Red Sonja? Why would she do that? I wonder.
She didn't want to get typecast as Conan's girlfriend.
That kind of makes so Conan's enemy's fine.
Well, I think that's actually one of the more interesting things about this movie is that it's a sequel to Conan by the guy who owned the rights to Conan, who lost the rights to Conan before he could fucking make the movie. And Dino is such a jackass.
Red Sonja is a Conan
character.
From,
how Dino fucked that up is
I don't know.
Beyond
and at the same time, when does Dino get desperate enough that he's like, you know what? I got nothing else, guys. I got nothing else. I can't do any other production but Conan spin-offs and knockoffs, and I got it right one time. That's all I'm going to ever try.
No, he didn't get it right. I think when you have Conan, you've got John Milius, who when you're watching the director's commentary, said that, one of the reasons that he was able to work with Raffaella and Dino is that he just yelled back. When they came in and gave him shit, he was like, cool. Cool story, brah. Fuck off. We're going to kick you off the picture. Oh, yeah. I'd like to see you try. I got a 44 in the fucking glove box. I will fucking rain lead on top of both of your Italian asses. He called David Lynch a wimp over, Dune, because David Lynch was like, they're ruining my life. He was like, they should have threatened him with gun violence.
Oh my god.
Then you get to make the movie you want. In the defense of John Milius, Conan is a masterpiece.
Note to all directors out there.
Yeah, when the producers come in and start fucking up, they're like, hey, fuck you, I'll kick your ass. And if that doesn't do it, I will fucking shoot you.
I have a feeling that wouldn't have worked at Canon Group. That's the same. Hey, fuck you, I'm going to shoot you. I think it would have backfired.
Oh, yeah,
literally.
absolutely.
I think you would have, maybe Raymond Chow also you couldn't do that with.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
No, because you'd get killed by the triad, but, whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
Maybe you get to make the picture you want before that.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. So Brigitte Nielsen stinks. Sandal Bergman stinks. Schwoz. Schwoz is just Schwoz here. I don't really have much of a problem with Schwoz here, other than like his dialogue sucks.
Yeah, so he agreed to do it on a cameo, and then Dino stuck him there for 4 weeks and wouldn't fly him out.
Oh Jesus!
So he thought he was just going to show up and be like, "Yeah, I'm in the movie. Goodbye." And he was like, "No, I am here. Ow.
Too long." Oh my God.
Why didn't he just fly himself back?
Well, this is 1985. Schwoz he wasn't a big star at this point.
He was not, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had Conan under his belt, and that's about it.
Yeah.
The Destroyer was out by this point, too, wasn't it? Conan the Destroyer?
If it was,
I think it
that
was
would not
83.
be a feather in his cap.
No.
That
But
shit was terrible.
so-
I think that was later. I think it was after this.
Okay. Really? Oh, I thought
It might
83.
not have been.
Anyways, so yeah, I mean, he's trapped by his boss, essentially. So, man, don't work for Dino De Laurentiis.
Unless you're John Milius.
Right.
Because then you could do whatever the fuck you want.
Because you're packing heat. Or maybe you're not.
You know
Just-
the fucking Dirty Harry's gun is John Milius's gun, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, John Milius is like a silent partner in the Dirty Harry series. He came up with most of the stories. He wrote the script for the second one. And that wasn't fucked with by the time it made it to screen. And when they said he'd seen what Clint Eastwood and Don Spiegel were going to use for the gun, and he's like, that's not a man's gun. It was like a 357 or something like that. And he goes into his fucking car and
not a
brings
knife.
out the 6-inch barrel 40 or 9-inch barrel 45. He's like, this is a fucking gun.
Now that's a knife.
Exactly. And so, like, there's a chance that had he not been a great director, he would have been Dirty Harry.
Would have been a murderer.
Mass murderer.
Hooray for Earth. Yeah. Oh boy, this film. I did some numbers on it.
Yeah.
It cost between 15 and 18. That's the estimated.
Which means it cost 23.
Probably right. It made back $6 million.
Yep.
Not good.
I wonder if Dino did the same thing with this that he did with Dune and let TV stations edit it however they wanted to show it. Because he was getting a lot of... after he figured out he could do that with Dune, certain stations would pay a lot more to air it with the caveat that they could cut it themselves.
I think that's how the case may have been, because when I was a child, I wasn't allowed to see violent or booby movies. Even if there's buns, I can't watch it when I was a child. And I watched this movie a lot.
I did too.
And so I think we maybe have had a VHS copy that was recorded off a TV or something that was edited in whatever way that they needed to do.
Get the nipple out of there.
Get the nipple and the shaky naked lady and the head choppings and the a couple bad stabbings here and there. And just the plot. I don't remember the plot, but of course at the same time I was a child. I probably didn't understand subtleties of
there was a plot
of femdom lesbianism. So okay, but yeah. Why are you shaking your head at me?
Because when I was a kid, I also did not pick up on that.
Yeah. Interesting plot here, guys. So what else you got on Red Sonja, Sam?
Beyond the numbers and what I just said,
Mm-hmm.
and what we're saving for later, nothing.
Okay. I do know that Maria Shriver did say that about this.
She
film,
did say
though.
that it was
And-
going to kill his career, and it didn't.
And she was correct. She was correct. his career has been impervious to death by bad movies.
But apparently not game shows.
Oh yeah, wait, because the Apprentice thing.
He hasn't done shit since he fucked up The Apprentice, and it's like he fucked up The Apprentice.
Yeah, and he's 85 years old, dude. I mean, what do you want?
85.
Okay, he's 86.
Oh, I do have one more thing.
Okay.
Him and Stallone are Eskimo brothers because he nailed Brigitte Nielsen.
Oh
on set.
no!
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if they like have made that connection ever.
I'm guessing when they both had their shoulder surgeries together and broed down, that's probably all they talked about. I'm just gonna make that assumption. You remember Brigitte Nielsen? Yeah, that was no good. Oh, it was alright. It's because you're only 4 inches tall.
So I learned from this because her accent is so like she's from Denmark. I had to look it up because in this film I almost thought that she was adding a little setting to the movie because she almost sounds like Schwarz. Like she's almost trying to replicate Schwarz's accent. Like, oh, that's how people talk here in the land of Corbiamonia or whatever the fuck this place is.
Well, that and she's got a lot of his same facial expressions.
Like Goofy.
You killed my mother.
Yeah. And they both have the tooth gap thing going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She is, however, like 5 inches taller than him.
Yeah, she's a tall lady. She's a big lady now. Ooh. Backbreaker.
So I
think she could wrestle the Undertaker.
I think from watching this, because they needed to do something different with her costume. Because all her costume did is draw attention to the fact that from her knee to her hip is like 4.5 feet.
Right.
Like she is incredibly lanky.
She's a very
very tall person.
Very tall, leggy person. Yeah.
Yeah, she looked like Wilt Chamberlain in Conan the Destroyer. I was like, wow, she is fucking tall.
Should we get into this, or do you got anything else you want to bring up before we start, Jackie?
No.
Okay. The intro to this film is quite odd.
Yeah.
Does it seem like there may have been more here that Dino was like, or whoever the editor was like, dude, this is going to be 2 hours if we put this shit in. We need to cut this thing down.
Cut what? They didn't do anything in the movie, so there's really...
Right.
If they cut anything from the movie, they cut what little story there was.
Right.
There is a story here, they just couldn't be bothered to tell it.
Because there's shots of what happens to establish this whole thing.
Yeah.
But... they're told via a spooky ghost and flashback.
And there's
briefly
going to be a thing called a talisman later. And if you were going to do a pre-diegetic spill that tells the viewer what's about to happen, what they should have used these, 10 sentences for is like, this glowing orb does this and it has to get done and gone because of this. Like... You're about to see the beginning of a story.
Oh, I'm not even talking about the opening scroll. I'm talking about where she's laying in the dirt because her hut has been burned down, and a spooky ghost comes through the woods and tells her, hey, because this Gedrin lady came by and was like, I want to fuck you, and you're like, that's gross. I'm totally not into chicks, and cut her face open. Then she burned down your village and killed your family and via Conan. Now here's sword arm power. Go at it. But there's all these shots of that happening. But so they filmed it and then cut it.
Yeah.
To keep boring shit in later.
I don't know that actually happened. Again, with the shooting, it could have just been torn out of the script, right?
No, they had shots. They had shots of her killing her family, shots of her being like, you with the butt, come here and get on this beaver. And then she cuts her face. You don't remember? Oh yeah, you fell asleep for the first
not fall
3/4
asleep.
of this movie.
I did not. I almost did. I don't remember that specifically.
Jackie, you with me?
Yeah. They seem to have like a whole, like they shot that entire thing.
There's like 6 shots cut together in like the span of like 5 seconds. So, and they're big shots.
Yeah.
So I think that they had all that shit and cut it.
So that they could just show people walking around.
Right. Which makes this movie even shittier.
Yep.
God damn it.
Well, I would guess that. So at this point, the director, Richard Fleischer, is gotta be 80.
Okay, yeah.
He'd been doing movies in the late 40s, I think.
He did Tora, Tora, Tora. I know.
Yes, he did Tora, 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 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea,
Oh,
Fantastic Voyage,
Oh, yeah.
Soylent fucking Green.
Soylent Green.
Yep.
It's made of paper.
It's paper. Anyway, this is like his third to last film. He probably was like, after the disaster of working with Raffaella on set, was like, yeah, peace, I'm out. So then you get the De Laurentiis cut. And I think this is what you get when the De Laurentises get to cut the film. They're like, oh, put this in because it's got a kid. Okay, put this in because it's funny.
Yeah.
My mom likes this part, so we're going to have this because she likes horses.
Right. And we spent and we also spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money on this buffalo that has a meat pinwheel underneath it. Put this in the movie. Whoever the set guy that designed that buffalo with the meat pinwheel under it, what the fuck was that?
What the fuck with all the sets?
How many drugs did you have to do to get there?
Yeah, all the sets. So anyways, she's by herself, sort of. And now she's got sword arm or something. I don't even know what sword arm is.
I think that the ghost comes in and is like, "Ooh, your sword arm will never fail, and I've given you the strength of blah, 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 blah." But all you get is that she says sword arm 3 times, so I'm just calling it sword arm. That's her power.
Which is what?
I would think
being able to swing a sword a lot.
I would think that your arm would actually be a sword, but that's not the case here.
Yeah, it's quite the literal take of it, but she can't swing a sword a lot because she ends up fighting later and she gets tired. Her sword arm gets tired, like anybody else's. And it's not super strength. She has to go get training on how to use a sword.
Yeah. But she becomes the best, so the sword arm helps.
You know how you do that? Fucking practice, dude. You fucking practice a lot and study.
You know what,
Not
though?
a spooky ghost goes, you are the best, and then I gotta go train? Yeah. No, that's what everybody else does.
No, the Earth isn't a fair place. You can practice all you want and still not be the best.
That's true.
That's why she's the best, is because she practiced a lot and she had the sword arm.
That is
cheating.
No, that's dumb.
Yeah, that's the way it is in the story world of Red Sonja.
If you're a spooky ghost and you give somebody sword arm, that arm better become a fucking goddamn sword. And it better never tire, and it better instantly be the best in the world. You don't gotta go fucking train. I gotta train? What the fuck gift is this?
Yeah. No, your arm should actually be Lee Horsley with a 3-bladed shooting sword.
Right.
Lee Horsley?
What movie is that from again? Oh, Sword and the
Sorcerer.
Yeah.
I will say, though, that when she goes to train, this is one of my favorite costumes, is the
oh my God,
the Zen Master guy.
Yeah, Grand Master of the Samurai Camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually dressed kind of like the Shogun would be dressed. Probably circa 1800.
So they have different... So the Japanese just live on Red Sonja planet?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, dude.
Right, fine, whatever.
So yeah, that was probably the last discipline of sword fighting she had to learn.
She had to get to the 13th chamber?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's a movie. Yeah. So anyways, before all this, Kalidor, played by Schwaz, is riding across the land with very majestic music, very adventuresome. And he gets to a broken bridge. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I can't resist. The bridge is out! And,
the bridge is out!
What? The bridge is out! Jackie needs to watch True Lies. It's hilarious.
No, I've seen it.
I know, but you need to watch it again because I want to.
Yeah, it's fun.
So there's this weird cone temple someplace, and we find out later that's where Kalidor's trying to get to. And inside this cone temple is like a group of priestess ladies. They're all ladies, all dressed in white.
Sure.
They have swords.
Yep.
Huh.
Some of them have some really awesome gold hats.
Yeah.
I think those are plates.
Yeah, they have plates on
their heads.
What
have you done to the china?
Use the good china for the ritual.
Okay. Some of them have plates on their shirts, too.
Mm-hmm. Pretty nice.
What are we going to eat off of later?
The floor? The same thing we eat off of every night?
That's a cult of all ladies. I think I know where they're going to eat off of. Plastic.
Oh, my God.
They have the paper plates. Then there's an orgy.
Yeah, then the orgy. So they're bringing up the talisman, which let's address this right now.
Right now.
It is not a talisman.
It is a fucking orb.
It's the orb that Donald Trump and the Saudis all touch. Yeah, it's not a talisman, but and it doesn't even have a clever name. It's just the talisman. It's not the talisman of Kalidor or the death orb of Vonko.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the talisman. Which talisman? The talisman. The talisman. No, the talisman.
The talisman. I'm burning my largest question. So what's it do? Oh, you don't know? Well, you're out of the know. That's what the movie does to you.
Right.
But we know now that men can't touch it.
Yeah.
Men can't touch it. They get zapped to... Did they get vaporized or do they get warped into like another dimension?
I think they just get disappeared.
Oh, it's just disappeared.
You're nothingness.
And you never reappear.
It's the nihilistic journey of being gone or not or anything. Who knows?
Okay.
I'm going to... So in the logic of what's happening here with Sandal Bergman's Queen character, she's like, let's test it to make sure this is Italian. Because if they're here after this thing, they already know what it does, that only women can touch it, that men can't touch it. So by having this Gary fellow walk up, I'm like, all right, touch the ball, Gary. And he does, and he disappears. They're just like making sure they're in the right place.
Right. That's all. Yep. Oh, this is the talisman, guys.
All right, let's make sure this is the right one. Like, how could it not be the right one?
We went to the place where they keep the talisman.
The talisman. It's the giant cone in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's a bunch of priestesses with plates on their heads and swords.
I'm pretty sure this is it.
It's glowing green.
Yeah.
Are we sure we're in the right place? Let's check.
Well, I need to know for sure because what I see in front of me is a goddamn orb, not a talisman. Yeah. So let's check, Gary.
Yeah, maybe she wasn't always a queen. She had a job where she's like, you measure twice, cut once, right?
Right.
Huh.
Yeah, so why are they bringing the talisman up? Because they've got it in like this bottomless pit where if you keep it in there, it's dark. And it doesn't have any power if it's dark. So why are they fucking bringing it up?
They're not. They're putting it down. They finally decided.
Why did they bring it up? Why is
that's my other big question. That's part two is why wait till now to destroy this thing if it's only evil, I guess?
How long have they been sitting on this thing?
Yeah, and why isn't it already in the hole? And why do you have to, if it all it takes is dropping it in the hole, what's with all the pomp and circumstance? Just drop it in the fucking hole.
With the slowest moving doors ever.
Oh, God. And the filmmakers made sure that we got to see these things close all the way on their own.
Oh, yeah. Good set work, guys. Good thing we kept all that in. Yeah, so Sandal Bergman rides in Queen Gedrin, the lady with dubious intent from the beginning. She rides up with her boys, and they come in and kill all the ladies. And
a lot of bad angles here. A lot of how is any of this happening?
Right.
Stars are being thrown downwards, showing up in other shots, flying sideways. None of the action angles work at all during this entire sequence.
No, it looks like shit. But the ladies lose, so she gets the orb. Makes a lady touch it after the dude, and oh yeah, see, this is the talisman.
Mm-hmm.
And they take it. They brought it off, but inside, go ahead.
Excuse me, are you the singing bush? That's about as bad as this. Hey, are we sure this is the right place? I'm pretty sure. Does it? I mean, it said 9261. Does it say that on the mailbox? It does. Okay.
There's a big sign that says "Home of the Talisman" right above the door.
Should we ask somebody if it's the right place?
We can't. We killed all of them and then pushed them in the hole. God damn it! Ask first. Excuse me. Don't mean to bother you while you're in your ritual, but is this the talisman?
Is this the right one? They're all dead, really? So, Gary, I got some bad news for you. We're going to need you to touch that thing. If it's the right one, you're going to die.
I'm sorry, what? Excuse me?
Yeah. And so you got to draw a sword on Gary because he's like, no, I'm not going to fucking touch that.
No, not
and then you're like, oh, yeah, do it or else. And he's like, okay, hold on. I'm still deciding which way is going to suck the worst.
Yeah, right.
Whether you stab me or whether I touch that thing. There's a lot of unknowns here. I know that getting stabbed is going to suck pretty bad, but this orb is unknown.
So Red Sally is there, and she is she's Red Sonja's sister,
Sure.
who happens to be one of the priestesses, and she dodged all the combat. Oh, I mean, she didn't. She kicked some ass, but she then kind of hid while all this is shaking down, and then she pushes open a doorway and runs away. And some guys see her do it, and so they're chasing her. Well, Kalidor has shown up a ways away, and he's like, "Oh, there's a lady getting chased," and she gets on a rope bridge,
Yeah, she's
rope rappel. What is this?
Zip
thing?
line.
Zip line. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
zip line that just crosses a chasm, and how do
Yeah.
you get back up?
you don't.
Okay.
She gets shot in the back.
Yeah.
This is part 2 of makeup guy putting blood in the wrong spot.
Yeah, and
She-
too much.
She
sometimes.
gets shot in the back. He catches her off the zip line. She's got blood all over her elbow and her knee. That arrow hit you very strangely. You were bleeding out of your knee.
I'm a leaky. I'm a hemo.
I didn't just get hit by the arrow. I'm really clumsy.
hemophiliac. I tripped.
These bushes are sharp.
Oh, your hands are strong.
I was in the rose garden this morning. I fell.
So long ago, the rose garden.
I remember
Seems like forever
Sycamore
ago.
Street. Seems like yesterday. Can we get somebody else in here?
Okay, so he's like, "Oh no, she's dead or she's dying," but he.
Who are you? I'm sorry. Shut up.
Are you
at my
from
biceps.
the talisman?
Are you sure it's the right one?
I don't know where I am either.
Did they have a guy named Gary touch it? Because then you'd know.
So she's like, "Find my sister. She will help return the talisman." So they ride into the training center where she's at with the Grandmaster.
Training center. It's like
That's what
It is a
yeah.
training center.
you're making it sound though like it's a call center that she's sitting in her cubicle.
Well, that's how this shit works. Because she's been told by the spooky ghost that she's got sword arm, and she looks down at her arm, and it's still an arm, and
Yeah.
she's like, "I don't think I have sword arm. I better call somebody and get some training." So she like gets the yellow pages out and finds a phone booth and is like, "All right, squatting ninja arena training.
Yeah.
I'll try that."
And
They got good reviews on Yelp.
And they got to leave really right after she picks up the sword because there's a spinning class that comes in after that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the squatting arena of samurai is multi use.
Yeah.
Gonna do some Zumba in there
Yeah.
later.
well,
I like how her horse though was already saddled up and ready to go.
Yeah. So he's like, "Hey, are you Sonja? Your sister's dying." What? Who are you?
Who are you? I put her on a giant stone buffalo with a meat pinwheel underneath it.
She's bleeding out of her knee to death.
It's like when they get there, they're like, here's your sister bleeding. Did you get a look at this thing? What is it even? What is this thing? Why is it here?
Why
Your
does it have
sister-
dinosaur legs?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Apparently, you guys missed it, but there was multiple of these
Oh, yeah.
things. It's like the Stone Monster Valley, the Valley of the Stone Monsters, or something.
It's like it's a Route 66 fucking roadside attraction
you would find-
of the ancient world.
You would find PB and a lady up in one of these
Uh-huh.
things' mouths.
Yeah.
It's stupid. This is not. Nobody built this in the land of Conan.
There's, on the other side of the camera axis, there's actually a truck stop, and that's why Red Sonja's sister has lemon meringue pie. Even though she's dying,
That's okay.
she likes
we
pie.
were being funny for a while, but you just fucking ruined it, man.
Because everybody knows that lemon meringue pie isn't funny. Key lime pie, now that's funny.
Oh, that's classic.
All right.
I'm pretty sure you use key lime to pie somebody in the face. So.
Nope, that's banana cream.
Oh, banana cream. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, banana cream is the best.
We should pie each other in the face sometime because that would be great comedy when nobody could see it happening.
Uh-huh.
So she's like, I got a shot in the back, but I'm bleeding from my elbow, and they got the talisman, and Oh, and we got 13 days or else. Because if it sits out in the sun for so long in light, it will destroy the world. Is that what's going on here?
Or
Massive earthquake is what I got.
I didn't. What I got is, so there's been a timer on this thing the whole time.
Right.
Why are we waiting to throw it in the hole?
Right. And what have you been doing? Like, oh, man, boy, I wish we hadn't had it sitting out in the sun for 6 months because we would have had 6 months and 13 days to solve this fucking caper.
For countless centuries, we have guarded the talisman, which is actually an orb, when we should have thrown it in a hole. But now that we're down to the last 2 weeks, we really got to do it. We are the order of waiting until the last minute.
Procrastinations.
Yeah.
God, it seems like there was something I had to do
Yeah.
today. What was it?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well, nobody wanted to really stand there and watch it get encased.
Yeah,
It was just going to fucking take too long, and everybody's like, well,
The Order of Procrastinators actually has like 100 members, but they had to draw straws to actually who takes care of Orb on Orb Day because it's so boring.
Did you get the straws, Steve? I knew that there was something I was supposed to pick up on the way here.
We'll worry about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So he's like, I will come with you. You need my help. And she's like, no, I don't need help from blokes. Cause no, I'm tough and stuff. I've got sword arm. Not really. Cause I had to train like everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, bye. And she rides to the city that's in ruins, which is Havelock City or something.
It's Havelock.
Yeah.
yeah, I can't tell. I think they change it like a couple of times.
Yeah.
Depending on who's talking, it's got a different name.
And Gedrin rode by that way earlier, and I guess she tested out the orb because I guess you can just like
Use it
say
for stuff.
go orb go, and it does stuff rather than because she never uses it ever again.
No.
It just charges up with sunlight and then destroys the world.
And if there was going to be some action or some explanation as to what this thing did, they decided this would be good to leave out of the movie.
Correct.
Well, she attacks 2 different cities because there's another one that she attacks too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but there's no mention of her using the orb.
They say that she uses it.
I think you're inferring, but anyways, either way, this castle's been destroyed because she said "Orb, go," and inside is Tarn, played by Eddie Reyes Jr.
Ernie Reyes.
Ernie,
Yeah.
I think I said Eddie.
Eddie.
Last time too.
Yeah.
From Last Dragon.
Yes.
Yeah, he was
or
great in The Last Dragon.
the classic film Surf Ninjas.
Oh, and
as an
Surf
adult,
Ninjas, right. And his man assistant, Falcon, who's played by I don't know.
I had a guy, some guy.
Yeah, some guy.
He looks like Joe Rogowski's dad.
Joe Rogowski! Who the fuck is Joe Rogowski?
He was our neighbor kid when I was growing up.
Oh,
His
shout
dad
out.
looked like that.
Shout out to Joe Rodowski.
Rogowski.
To Joe Rodowski!
Yeah, Joe Rogowski is either a traveling salesman or a linebacker. He has no other choice.
His dad had a perm.
Fuck yeah!
Well, now we know he was a traveling salesman.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm not even going to explain what happens here. It's really fucking dumb and not funny comedy, but she teams up with them, essentially, to a degree. She helps them out, and then she's like, where is Gedrin? And they're like, go to this toll booth castle thing.
Oh, this fucking guy. I forgot about this.
Yeah, could just cut this. Just completely cut this. This is so not necessary right here. But she goes up to this toll booth, and she's like, hey, are you the guy that opens this up? I guess you are because you got a key on your tummy. And he's like, oh, yeah? Suck it.
Literally.
Yeah. You want it through? Let's bang. She's like, fuck you.
Yep.
I'm not banging you or anybody.
Well, she calls him a fat piece of shit, essentially. She's like, no, you fat piece of shit. I'm not having sex with you.
He's like, well, I guess you die. And they fight poorly. This is some of the worst sword fighting I've ever seen.
It's just swinging the sword back and forth.
And there's a couple shots where he holds the sword and she strikes it. Like, haha, hit my sword because I'm letting you. Ugh. Everything's in slow motion.
Oh, this is it's as bad as action.
They
as I've
all
ever
have
seen.
multiple chances to kill each other, but they don't because they've got to do like a backflip here, or he's got to get frustrated and go. It sucks.
The only thing that these fights are missing is periodically the two actors stopping and looking back towards the choreographer to make sure they're doing it right,
Right.
as if they think they're practicing it in
Yeah.
slow motion.
And then staring into the camera and making huffy face.
Is this on? Who are you? Where's the drugs?
Well, you can tell when she starts to get tired too during these fight scenes,
Mm-hmm.
because she gets that same look on her face, like, ah.
Yeah.
She does a couple of times when she's doing the more what are supposed to be cool sword maneuvers that are not. Get this look on her face that is definitely the I'm about to hit myself with this face.
That too.
She's just like, oh, maybe it's going to work this time. Did you get that? Because I don't want to hit myself in the face if we have to do it again.
Well, after a way too long fight scene, she wins and takes the key. And his minions are like, they're going to fuck her up, I guess. But Kalidor. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Kalidor shows up, and he's all like, go! I'll protect you! You can get out! And she escapes, and he stays behind to cover her escape, basically, after, again, a way too long and protracted battle scene.
Mm-hmm.
The morning, she's riding around by herself. And so let's just note 1 day has passed in the film.
So was it 12 left or 4?
It should be 12. It is 4 now. So I don't know what happened for 8 days, but
They had the math wrong.
Yeah. Oof.
Who's ever, they're all dead, so they can't be
They can't
passing
even
this math along.
Know what the math is. There's not a
I guess
fucking clock on
because
the
it's
thing.
in a room full of candles now, it's sped up the clock.
Maybe. Okay. But then she would know that there's 4 days
Who's
left. She goes, we've only got 4 days left.
Who's replacing these candles?
Who's lighting the candles?
Jesus Christ.
Why don't they just put the fucking thing in a room with the sun?
Why don't they just stick it outside?
Yeah, just use the candles at night.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. So she's riding along, and she hears Tarn, the kid. He's been captured by some ruffians, because he likes to say ruffians, and being tortured.
He's being drawn and quartered.
He is straight up being drugged in 4 ways by horses.
And this is where I think that Jackie's right about the other city, because this asshole is the king of the other city. And he's a better king
I
because
didn't
he's
catch
got 4 people left.
Yeah.
And the kid only has 1 helper left.
Right.
So he did better on the orb attack because he's left with 4 assholes.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, oh, let's not team up. I'm going to fucking kill you, so I'm the king or something.
I don't know how that works.
But I'm such an asshole that I'm going to draw and quarter a child.
Uh-huh. Rather than just push him over.
Rather than just try to figure out what happened the last 3 days.
That also might be
Yeah.
useful knowledge.
Yeah.
The kid doesn't even have any gold or anything.
Yeah,
No.
but he's like, give me the gold. And the kid's like, I don't have any gold.
We got exploded, just like you.
Just like you.
Idiot. So she rescues him, and then Falcon kills guys in fat guy fashion. Like, he's got a big bone because he can't have a sword. He's just, I'm big, so I gotta have bludgeoning weapons. And,
I fashioned it myself by eating.
yep.
Yep.
I hate that joke.
No.
And of course, Tarn knows karate because, of course, he karates everybody.
Because he's Ernie Reyes Jr.
That's
And that's why he's here.
right. Gedrin has finally brought the talisman to her face castle.
Yep.
Castle face skull? Castle skull?
Whoa.
Yeah, this castle was stupid.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's just made of faces.
One of the more incredible things about this film is how brilliant and methodical the mat work is, but then how dumb the shit that they put in it is.
Yeah,
It's like,
completely.
God damn, if your art was better, this shit would be awesome looking.
And like, is this castle, like, did she build this castle because she's got face issues because Sonya cut her face, so she's got to have, like, hey, I'm that face person because, remember the face, me, the face person,
'Cause
or
Wasn't, I guess, that was how long ago? We don't even know how long ago that was.
it seems like about 3 weeks,
3 weeks.
maybe.
I don't even know.
No, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. Anyways, so it's dumb. She lives in a dumb place. And inside, she's got a chamber of 1,000 candles, which is dumb.
Mhm.
And that's where she keeps it.
And a logistical nightmare in filmmaking. I had to stare at these shots to make sure, and I didn't find any unlit candles.
I
Yeah.
did.
Oh, really?
It may have been like one or two. It's pretty lit up with
Oh.
candles.
That had to suck.
It had to suck. How many people did you have? Like, I think you just go
You-
in there with the flamethrower.
The way that they're positioned, it would be so easy to knock one over, and then it was the domino effect of fire.
Right.
It is a nightmare to set this shit up.
To light them, you would have to do that Mission Impossible thing where you swing down on the bungee cord and then just like some guy
Yeah.
just kind of tosses you toward, and then you click, click, click with your lighter and then light one and then you swing it to the other side because you can't like climb up the shelves because you'd be stepping on candles.
And we all know how that really goes. Is that they drop you down halfway, but the balance is off, so you hit your head, knock yourself out, and because you're being squeezed at the waist so much, you just pee your pants.
then
and
light
none of the
yourself on
candles
fire.
get lit. It's like, Anybody else want to give this a shot? No. Did you see what just happened to Glenn? I mean, that's not cool.
At least he didn't have to touch the orb. And then her throne room is both of these things dialed to 11 in dumbness. Her throne room is so dumb.
Why does she have all the skeletons everywhere? There's skeletons like wearing her spare crowns. There's like a row of like Christmas light skeletons.
The curtains are skeletons.
Like the first shot you see, like it's through this sort of like arch, and you're like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. It's very Dark Crystal-esque. But then when you start looking around at the things and you get inside and you start to see more angles of this room, you're like, this is bullshit.
It is bullshit. The throne room.
She's got, and it's like this, like, she's got this Veronica's Closet thing going with these like skeletons wearing lingerie. And there's a brass TV and a wizard.
The wizard.
Oh, and the wizard is the bass player from Three Dog Night.
But a bit of a character, this one.
Yeah, it was like the guy from Three Dog Night did too many drugs and then didn't cut his fingernails for 2 years or something.
And he just hangs out in there. He's got like a chemistry set.
Yeah.
Like my beginner chemistry set, and he just stands there all day long in her throne room.
And does whatever she wants unless she's gone, at which point he fucking whacks off to porno.
Right.
Because she's like, bring in the TV or whatever. It's like this brass seeing
It's a gong.
bullshit, right? It's, yeah. But it's the seeing gong. Oh, yeah. Bring in the seeing gong. And they do. And he's like, okay, let me turn it on. And it's still this lady dancing around naked like, oh, that's where I got done watching this.
Yep.
Which means, oh, you know what that means. And then he has to change the channel to like Red Sonja not doing anything so they can see her adventuring and know that they're in for it, I guess.
She arrives at a fucking skeleton bridge, and then she teaches Tarn a good lesson about being a real man or something. I don't even fucking care. And Gedron's like, oh, they're getting pretty close. Let's use the talisman to send a storm to slow them down.
So that's one thing the talisman does.
But she doesn't use it. She just says, send talisman. She's like talking to Siri. Like, hello, send storm. Send storm. Would you like to order more? No!
Yeah. Talisman, send storm. Playing songs by Mandy Moore. God damn it, Talisman. Wait, no, hold on. I like this song. After this, though, Storm.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Storm is a character in the X-Men. God damn it, Talisman!
So they have to stay in this cave because of the storm, and she's like, "I gotta hurry," and they're like, "Why? What's the big fucking deal?" Well, we're running low on time. Because
That's been happening this whole movie
it doesn't
somehow.
make any sense. And Tarn has wandered off deep into this cave, and he's found like this room that's just water, but it's got like this dragon pearl holder statue. He's like, I could steal this pearl and rebuild my kingdom. Oh, Speedy. And Falcon's like, no, sir, that's bad. It could be somebody else's. And he's like, no, it's mine. Fucking get it, fat piece of shit. And so he pries it out.
Red Sonja shows up and she's like, guys, there's water in here.
The chamber's flooding.
No shit. There's water in here. Nice.
Okay.
It's like 3 feet deep and there's stairs everywhere.
Yep.
If it fills up halfway, we could use the stairs or swim or something.
Uh-huh. That could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess knocking the pearl out releases the
Catfish.
catfish dragon
It's
machine.
like a tiger that's a fish.
It's like half alligator too.
Yeah, I thought it had an alligator body and maybe some dragon.
I don't know what it is then.
And it's made
But-
of metal.
They say that they're going to release. They have to get the storm going to force them into this cavern, so that they can release this monster on them. But it's only supposed to kill 2 of them.
Wait, what?
This is the worst trap ever. No one should
This
fall
is
for
a
this.
trap? I thought this thing just lived there.
No, it's
No,
a
this is a
trap.
trap, a setup trap.
Who? So what?
Yeah,
Yeah, because Gedder's like, I don't want a scratch on Red Sonja, and he was like, well, sometimes the monster is kind of hard to control, and she was like, no, you don't get to kill Red Sonja, you stupid asshole.
And he's
Just
like,
those other 2.
okay, we'll try not to, but we'll put the monster in there anyways where we're going to put them, so she's probably going to get hurt. This is a really shitty plan.
and also, as we find out later, because I'm just going to skip ahead to where they're fighting it. Oh, I have showed up again. I'm in this movie, remember?
hey, hello.
Hi. I got a new shirt, though. And he dies, and he's like, it's a robot.
And it's a bad dive.
Bad dive.
Lands on
I
his
think
face.
all of the bad dives are bad because there's only 2 feet of water.
Yeah, it's still a
And
bad dive.
They're making them dive when they shouldn't be diving.
Shouldn't be diving.
But yes, it's a very bad dive. So it's a robot, which then goes back to the monster's hard to control. Well, if it's a robot, it should be easier to control.
Or is it remote control? Like the magician's just making potions and that's how you fucking control it?
Well, obviously, he doesn't know how to change the channel on the TV, so, controlling
Right.
a robot is going to be a little harder.
I know what the joystick is.
So if it's a oh god.
Oh, no!
So if it's a robot, is the magician actually just like a guy who fell through a time warp from normal times who's a computer programmer?
Yes.
And he just looks like that because he's really into docking?
Uh-huh.
That would make sense.
Yeah, okay. So they she's like, make a storm so that they go into this cave, but before they go into this cave, make sure you put a monster, like, dude, like some guys carry it over there? How? This doesn't work.
It's always there.
But
It's a
so it
trap.
lives there.
But it's a trap of opportunity. We'll make this storm. They'll have to go into here, and then get. It sucks.
It sucks. This is dumb. Long story short, Schwaz wrestles it, and
It's just basically your drunk uncle tumbling around on one of those inflatable shamus in the
yes,
pool.
absolutely.
That's all that's happening here. And then he's like, "We have to pull its eyes out."
Sonja, we have to blind it.
Yeah, and so they
It's the only way.
pry its eyes out with knives, and it doesn't do anything different. It just keeps tumbling around.
But it's screaming now.
Yeah, like,
Because it hurts.
I guess those eyes didn't look like they worked. They looked ornamental.
Right.
To begin
they
with.
look like the pearls that they pried out of the
Yeah.
So it's a machine that's in pain, but it can feel pain, but it can't die. Fuck this thing. So they're like, all right, let's go. And they go outside.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Because I guess the storm's over now.
Why not?
And so he's like, hey, I just wanted you to know, I'm a really important guy. She's like, oh, yeah, that's neat. Yeah, I'm like the High Lord. Oh, I was going to come there and get the orb so I could destroy it because those ladies were taking too goddamn long with
Yeah.
it. And I was too late because the bridge was out. And she's like, oh, wow, you're the High Lord.
Meanwhile,
Okay.
we have to keep in mind that she's tending to his wound.
Yeah, right?
So she like puts some paper towel on it and closes his jacket.
That's not true. She put a fig leaf or something in there, too.
There we go.
Piece of mint from their cocktails earlier.
Her middle name is Cross.
So dumb. Anyway,
I don't get it.
What's her first name, Jackie?
Bridge.
No. Oh, okay.
Oh, God damn it. That took me a second. I feel like a retard.
Second? I think the talisman could have destroyed the world in the time it took you to get that joke.
it's not even a talisman; it's an orb.
whatever, do me. Because that's what she fucking
Yeah,
is
exactly.
like. I mean, he's like, no, I'm going to stick it in. And she's like, you can't. You have to beat me in combat first. I've sworn a vow
To myself.
to myself. It's a real strong oath.
Yeah.
I can't break it.
This is Red Sonja's born again vow.
It's Red Sonja's masturbation episode of Seinfeld. Well, I'm out.
Yeah. She's the master of her own domain for 6 minutes.
Only Kramer can beat her.
Yeah.
So they fight and fight and fight and fight and fight until they both get pooped out like 20 minutes later.
And
with
not
this shit
comedy
going on.
happens. Yeah. Before they fight, the stupid tending to the wound, like she puts this bandage on his wound, and then he's like, "Oh, we should sword fight so I can do you."
Right.
And he takes his jacket off, and then it just falls off. The bandage that she just made for him fell off, and there's not any makeup wound underneath it anymore. So he either heals immediately or something. I don't even know.
Maybe her middle name is Ass Baboon, actually.
What? Red ass baboon Sonja. I usually just people call me Red. Yes, my parents hated me.
Well, fuck them because they're dead.
Fuck them because they're dead. Yeah.
Because the lady wanted to do me. And I won't do anybody because of this goddamn oath.
The sword fighting shit. Oh.
So they don't bone because they're too tired. But I guess they just cut to Castle Face
Uh-huh.
because so they aren't tired anymore. They just, I guess don't have enough time to bone because we just have to fight again and it takes too long to get to a standstill and we'll just do this like on a time loop.
Why
forever.
not?
Okay, fine. So they got to climb up because I guess they can't open the fucking front door.
They leave Ernie Reyes Jr. behind, and they all scale. Like they're asking who wants to stay behind. And the fat guy's like, "Not me. I'm gonna scale this wall."
Yeah, that guy. He got 1 foot up on the wall, started to try to haul
Nope.
himself up, and he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna stay down
I'll
here."
do guard duty.
Yeah, like rock climbing, do you, Falcon? Yeah. You got the build for it.
And she's like, I can't stay behind because I can't. That's her entire excuse, which the movie is saying she can't because she has to touch the talisman. Just no, you don't have to touch it to destroy it. You could just like
Kick it over.
kick
Yeah.
it over.
Push it with a sword, poke it.
Guys carry it on a plate.
Yep.
You can touch the plate that it's on.
Uh-huh.
So
Grab a bag.
The movie is telling us, actually.
In the time before bags, the talisman,
Yeah.
which was an orb, cannot be touched by men. And we didn't have bags. Remember that.
Yeah,
No bags.
No bags. Yeah, that's what the movie's doing, is it's telling us she can't because she then wouldn't be in the fucking movie. Damn it.
That's the non-diegetic reveal. She's like, by the way, I'm in this movie. What? Who are you? And the fat guy's like, I can rock climb. What a scene.
Oh, man. Oh, boy, this hurts. So they reach the top. The place is coming apart, too, for no reason.
And Sandal Bergman doesn't seem to be caring. She's like, everything's perfect. Shit's falling on her head. Yep, plan's going great.
Why don't you tell it to fuck something else up?
Yeah.
Have you tried talking to this thing? Just place Mandy Moore.
Yeah, exactly.
Siri, stop screwing up my castle. Would you like to go to White Castle?
Exactly. I had to ask it directions to the next town. Guess what? I didn't make it there.
So they reach the top and split up eventually. And but Falcon and Kalidor find each other via hijinks. That's so dumb. Ugh, god damn it.
And this is one of the missed opportunities to be even more stupid than it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kalidor or Falcon falls on a table and falls on dinner. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna eat your dinner and beat you up."
Yep.
And then Schwaz shows up and then he's like, "Oh, this is going to be great. It's like a human catapult." And jumps on it, and then he just sort of like harmlessly launches Falcon nowhere.
Nowhere.
Like it should have been
Not as a battle strategy. He just bounces over to the end of the table.
It should have been like the dumbest thing ever. Like he knocks over like 30 guys or some bullshit like that.
Right. Via Terrence Hill and Bud Spencer.
Exactly.
That kind of fight comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not that. It's
No.
not funny in the least. It sucks.
Yeah, some guy does fall into a plate of beans and die.
Right.
Or a pot of beans, hot
Yeah.
beans.
Yeah. I hate beans.
They're burning my arms.
Not the beans. Not the beans. Tarn faces the queen's right-hand man. He's like, "Oh, you're the queen's spider." No, the queen's fucking spider is an actual goddamn spider.
That sucks.
That sucks. She's got a fucking plastic spider as her dog that can only spin in a circle because it's fucking stuck to the floor.
Because you can buy them at the Halloween stores.
Giant spiders.
Yeah.
That's the quality of a prop that they have
Yeah,
here is
right.
the seasonal Halloween store.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so they fight, and this guy dies by his own hand. There's no way to put it. He trips to his death.
They have a poor fight, and then he doesn't trip. He just jumps into death.
He jumps into death.
He like does the "I'm gonna roll through the door,"
And then,
and then he
lays down.
jumps, and then he stops, and he's like, "Okay, wait. So when you roll, do you roll first and then jump, or jump first and then roll?" Oh no, I'm squished.
Oh! So dumb. So he runs into the throne room now because I guess he's not guarding the door anymore now that that's over. And he gets nabbed. And Sonja comes in and she's like, "Let him go." And Gedron's like, "Do me still, please." It's so lonely in this weird room.
She's like, "Talisman, play Sade.
Yeah.
Recipe for sorbet." God damn it, Talisman!
Talisman, play Katie Lang. Okay.
Listing movies by Peter Wang. God damn you, Talisman!
So they fight, and it's dumb. It's Sandal Bergman is a much better swordsman.
Well, and I think it's because she's a
Swordswoman.
professional dancer, and so
Yeah.
like choreography,
Right.
and that's where you
and
see.
she has experience.
Yes, but you see, like everyone, even Arnold, kind of sucks in the sword fight scenes in this because they're not very well rehearsed. Choreography's bad, but she's such a fine dancer that it's like unlimited training. She's got her steps. She's ready to go. She's the only person that looks like she knows what she's doing in this whole fucking movie.
Right. But she still couldn't deliver a line. It's amazing.
No.
So they fight, and the fucking wizard's in there. He's just hanging out, and like just standing there at his potion table.
Oh yeah.
And he like uses potions to make Sandal Bergman disappear before Red Sonja can stab her
Yeah.
through the room. It's magic. It's potion teleportation.
It's bullshit.
It's stupid.
It doesn't really work most of the time either.
And how does it? He just like guesses where she wants to go.
Yeah.
Because eventually he just like she's not in any danger, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and puts her in her throne. Like, well, now you're comfortable.
Maybe they've been working on this for like 2 years,
Maybe.
and they were gonna high five afterwards, but he gets stabbed to death.
Well, his dumbass has voodoo powers where he can cut Red Sonja by scratching a plate, and he doesn't start with that.
Just lead with. Well, he can't kill her, I guess, because of the.
You could do a lot of cutting.
Yeah, and Glenn Danzig is there, and he doesn't tackle her until it's too late,
Right.
and then is killed immediately.
And then is killed him. Yeah, so she lops the wizard's head off.
Which looked pretty good.
It looks pretty dumb. It's not a good looking fake head.
Did you notice every decapitation was the same, like a single somersaulting head in the air every time?
Every time.
Couldn't have it hit the floor. It had to be the same shot every time. It's like,
Because when you slice from side to side, that causes everything to fly up in the air.
yeah, like they sent second unit out for decapitations that day. He came back with the same shot 4 times, and they're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Maybe Fleischer, the director, thinks that heads are held on by springs. So when you cut the skin, the spring releases and your head just goes pour. Right, that makes sense. Jack in the box, Jack in the head. Jacking off at the voodoo stand.
Jacking off at the voodoo stand. They have voodoo stands.
He had a voodoo stand.
He does have a voodoo stand, and he did jack off.
He jacks off at it. So Gedrin leads her to the candle room, which is exactly where you don't lead the person who's trying to get the fucking talisman. Idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Lead her to the death room. I know you've got a death room.
It's not done yet. The paint's drying.
So thanks for that. Now we know where this is because everybody's just been wandering around looking for this goddamn candle room this whole time. Idiot. So the boys show up and they're like, "Hey, Sonja! Hey, we're over here!"
Yeah, she's like sword fighting to the death. And like, look at me!
Hey, we're here! Sonja, wave
over
to
here.
us!
Don't get killed, but I'm right here.
Take a break. Come say hi. So Taryn comes in, and the room is all splitting up because of the earthquake, and there's like a fucking volcano under this goddamn room because she built her face castle on top of a volcano. Or is the volcano the lava being caused by the talisman?
The talisman, sir.
The talisman.
It's an orb, not a talisman. But the orb's green, so I don't think it makes lava.
Then she's an idiot for finding. I don't know.
Did they just build a castle in the wrong spot?
Right, on top of a goddamn volcano. That's a terrible place for that.
Seems like it's on top of a volcano or something else later.
Right. So it's breaking up and they're fighting and Tyron gets trapped. And long story short, she gives Gedrin the kick in the butt and she goes flying into the lava. It looks like shit. It's the only time the mat work doesn't work.
Yeah, it's hard with movement.
Right.
So that's one of the things they did so well before is they kept movement away from
Right.
all the matting.
Right.
And it looks better than Tim Curry falling in Legend at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
That looks real bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so she finally tosses what everybody should have done from the fucking start is she finally just kicks the talisman over. She doesn't even fucking pick it up. It doesn't require a lady to end this thing. She just kicks it over into the fucking lava.
That's not true. That's not true. She picks it up and throws it in.
Yeah, she grabs it with both hands.
Okay, fine. Well, she could have just kicked it
She
over.
could have just kicked it over.
All right, fine. So it's done. So, hey, the world's saved. Why is the place still exploding then?
Because they built a castle on a volcano.
So the volcano is erupting?
I'm guessing.
Even though the lava flow is clearly like 600 feet below them.
Yeah, actually, we'll just go. Because all that happens here is that Arnold Schwarzenegger uses feats of strength several times. I'm holding it up.
Get through this tiny spot while
Yeah.
I'm being tough.
This happens way too many times and way too long. They get out, they run away, and then it cuts back. This castle has exploded like, what, 36 times now?
Yeah, no, they're all
It's
dead.
constantly exploding. It finally really explodes and then starts shooting fire straight up in the air. Not like a volcano, but Arnold looks back and he goes, you build your face castle on an oil derrick. It's dumb.
Black gold right underneath you. You didn't need the talisman.
No. It's cash. Dumb.
You need a Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah. So they built their castle on an oil derrick and it exploded.
Right, correct. Okay. And they kiss and they fight and kiss and that's enough. And everybody's like, yay, thanks everybody for showing up. Bye.
Yeah.
Credits. Ugh. What a turd, Jackie. What a terrible movie.
I love it.
All right, first questions first. First order of business, and it's the big one we've been waiting for. Is he Conan?
So no.
Okay.
And yes. Because Dino somehow fucked up the rights that he had to Conan, and Red Sonja is a character in the Conan comic. For whatever reason, the asshole doesn't have the ability to do a Conan movie anymore. He fucked that up. So he named him, what is it?
Kalidor, yeah.
Kalidor, right?
Which I think is a very good Conan-y name.
Yeah. He's obviously Conan, though, in the movie.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah.
And afterwards, they release like a thing
So,
saying...
wait, hold on. Conan is the High Lord of this place?
Yeah, in his many travels, he gets a lot of stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Wait, then this is something to get hung up on with this piece of shit,
no,
right?
no. I want to know: is he fucking Conan? Not because Dino fucked it up, but is he actually Conan?
Yeah, and at
Yeah.
this point in the...
So Conan's a High Lord of the world.
he's a High Lord of the Realm in the comic book at this point. He's like fucking Thor.
All right.
There's aliens and zombies in Conan. It's fucking crazy shit, right?
Sure.
Now, afterwards, there's like a statement and some other fucking fiction released peripherally that Kalidor is one of Conan's traveling names.
Oh, like an alias.
Like J.R.R. Tolkien did with, Gandalf.
Gandalf had a
Gandalf
secret
had
name?
traveling names like Zeus and shit like that.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He wasn't always Gandalf.
Why not?
He traveled around and used different names.
Like he's fucking James Bond, but James Bond doesn't even have secret names. He's just James Bond.
That's because he doesn't need to be clever.
That
He
sucks,
bangs
dude.
chicks and shoots people.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the answer is that yeah and no, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who's next?
So I'm a little confused.
Okay, that's
Who
a
was
shocker. No way.
Who was the young woman
The young woman.
that was dressed like an identical to Queen Gedra?
Oh, okay.
I couldn't figure out if that was like her daughter
I got a theory on this.
or if that was like her new plaything.
That's her new plaything.
Yeah, I got a theory on this, and it has to do with my question. What the fuck is Gedron's deal?
She likes girls.
She likes... I don't know if she does. She just likes Sonya. And I think that this person is a Sonya facsimile.
Not a very good one by the filmmaking team.
She's the best she could get.
I guess.
I gotta have me some Sonya, so
Find-
I'm gonna get this one.
Yeah, they're like, find someone that looks like, what's her name? That plays Red Sonja, Brigitte Nielsen.
Right.
Like, oh, find an actress that looks like Brigitte Nielsen. We can't. There's a couple dudes that do.
Yeah.
One of them plays for the Lakers.
Yeah, so her deal is that she just isn't... I'm not saying that I'm not making a generalization about a group of people, but I'm saying this particular one, she's just an angry lesbian.
Yes.
That's it.
That's
That's
it.
the whole fucking movie, I think.
Scorned because she wants that ass.
And so she's going to destroy the planet unless she gets it.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
And Conan's just sort of hitting it while he's in town.
Right. He's going to breeze on out of here pretty
Yeah.
soon.
I would have thought, and I
Maybe
think
she should ask nicely one time.
this is probably where Sandal Bergman gets to turn down the lead on Red Sonja, is when Dino fucks up his own movie rights. And this isn't going to be a Conan 3, which it's supposed to be, right?
Right.
Because Red Sonja would then be the reincarnation of the original Sandal Bergman character with just red hair. So it's like Conan has his love back. But once that can't be the case, she's like, well, I want to play the villain. And everybody's like, fine. And then Dino's like, it's still a Conan.
Let's make her a lesbian that hates the earth because she can't bang another lesbian.
Whatever.
Yeah, fuck. Okay.
That was my only question.
Could you use this movie officially as the blueprint for don'ts in LARPing?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, especially with some of those costumes and how big the penis pouch was on Arnold Schwarzenegger's outfit.
Yeah, his codpiece was a little large.
Yeah, it was like, oh,
I think no matter when you go to LARP 101, your LARPing orientation class per se.
Sure.
The number one thing that's on slide 1 is never call the orb a fucking talisman.
Yeah.
You call that thing a goddamn talisman, you're out of LARPing.
Yeah, see, that's what I think. It's like NASA and Armageddon, where they show you Armageddon and you try to find everything wrong with it. When you get into LARPing, whatever oversight committee you have shows you this movie, and you have to find all of the wrong things. And one of them's like, so here's the deal, Steve. I know you're new to LARPing, and it's fake sword fighting, but if it's like this, you're going to be out.
Yeah, you're
We're-
out, man.
you're
We
out,
do not
man.
want you. You can go back to fucking playing arcade games or whatever.
Sure, whatever it is, right?
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay, my last question. Her name. Now I know that this isn't the origin
Ass
the
baboon?
yeah, Red ass baboon. Her name is Red Sonja, not Red Sonja, unless she is Hispanic.
Or Nordic.
I don't think they
Yep.
do JY.
Yeah, they do.
Then I'm a fucking moron
Because
you're
you're
clearly
Nordic.
Yeah, god damn it. All right. Edit that one out, dipshit.
My own people.
Yeah, you suck, dude.
Come from the land of the ice and snow. More?
That's all my questions.
Yeah. Okay, final recommendations on 1985's Red Sonja. Sammy, I'll start with you.
I'm going to be the medium piece. I can't really go, yeah, go watch this movie. It's awesome. But I can't say don't either.
Really?
It's not. I watched this movie like 15 times when I was a kid.
When you were a kid, sure.
It's got something to it. If you're out there going, I need to find an awesome bad movie, this isn't it.
Right.
But at the same time, I didn't hate watching it. It was
fell asleep 3 times.
I didn't fall asleep all the way. I got close, and I was really tired. But there's enough there to. It's a 50-50. If I'm not going to tell you not to watch Red Sonja.
Let's assume that every single person that's listening to this has seen it, and let's assume they all haven't seen it in a while.
I would say if you haven't seen it in 15 to 20 years, why not?
Okay, man.
If you've seen it recently, you probably know you're like, I'm not going to watch this again. But you guys had recently, within 5 years, seen it.
Yeah, I was forced to watch it because of a stupid podcast.
Me.
Jackie, do or don't?
Oh, it's a do.
Really?
Yeah, I love this movie. I love the eccentric costumes. I like the crappy sword fighting. You know, I like it right down to the mullets. I don't know what it is about this, but I really, really like this movie.
I fucked that up. That was actually my last question was, what did you notice first? Her nipple or her mullet?
Mullet.
Nipple.
Oh.
Well, you know. I am going to give it a don't. It is so boring. It's just too boring. Now, if I knew that there was a group, like if this was Undiscovered, I would say you have to have seen it because it's an important piece of film history. But you've seen it, and there's nothing more that I think that a person can re-glean from it having watched it ever in their life. If you're the type of person that was like us, that watched it a shitload as a child, leave it in the past. Let your child have that memory that Red Sonja was awesome, because it is not awesome.
That's the other thing about how many times I watched Red Sonja. I think I just did it because I was bored. Because I don't remember liking Red Sonja.
Right.
I remember being like, this is the worst of my Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Like, this thing kind of sucks. But
maybe this will be the time. Maybe it'll get better this time.
It's just weird. Like, this is Stinker Madness, a room divided, because you're saying no, she's saying yeah, and I'm saying Mike Pence didn't show up for work today.
Yeah, that's a pretty hung jury. So travel as you dare.
Yeah, exactly. Choose your own adventure. Just do better than they did.
Right. On streaming do's and don'ts, none of these are streaming, unfortunately. These are all casual do's and don'ts that we saw via our good friend Roman, who was in town over the last week.
And by casual, extremely hard to find movies.
Right. But you can get copies of them bootleg or on Amazon. But maybe some of the people have seen these films, so we should talk about them anyways. Sure, yeah. Jackie, I don't think you saw
I'm
going to
say that this is the part of the show where I get to be quiet.
Well, you can join in.
I went to a wedding that weekend.
Yeah, you didn't get to see any of these. But that doesn't mean we can't talk about them because you were busy drinking and carousing in a different state.
You're going to do wedding do's and don'ts?
Yeah.
The cake, don't. The beans, don't.
Definitely not the beans.
The champagne, do. The rice, don't.
The bride and groom aren't gonna. Doberman Cop, starring Sonny Chiba, another Sonny Chiba movie. We just reviewed Sonny Chiba. This time he's Cop Doberman. He's police officer Doberman is his last name. He's not a wolf guy. He's not a Doberman pincher who is a cop. He's
just a
John
cop
Doberman, cop.
Who's got a nickname because he's like a hunting dog or a hound dog.
No, his last name is Doberman.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. And he resembles a dog that's always going to get his whatever.
He's always going to get his man.
Yeah, I don't know how.
Right,
I don't know the analogy, but there's probably not one there.
This was all about drugs and women getting hooked on drugs, like pretty ladies getting hooked on drugs and turning into whores, because that's what happens when you get hooked on the smack, I guess, in feudal, or not feudal Japan, but 70s Japan.
General Yakuza business.
Yeah, but the whole movie's about ladies Yeah.
Human traffic,
And
drugs.
like a lost love of his that got hooked on the smack that he thought was dead, but he's like, no, she's not dead. And everybody's like, no, she's fucking dead, man. He's like, no, she's not dead. See, she's right there. She's just hooked on the crack.
Yeah.
It was okay.
I liked it.
Yeah, you like all Sonny Chiba.
I
And I
don't.
think you have a bias towards him.
I don't.
I thought this was just okay.
It's just, yeah, it's not the best one, but I had fun with. I liked the peripherals more than I liked the normal Sonny Chiba business. Like the stripper that fell in love with him was fun. The pig was fun. That he was always
pig,
bringing.
yeah.
The pig. He dressing like a yokel was fun. There was just a lot of fun things to it. That it wasn't. I'm not going to give it like, oh, this is a strong, zany, action-packed. This is definitely not Sister Street Fighter. This is definitely not Madam or whatever, Lady Ginza Butterfly, She Cat Gambler, which is awesome.
Okay.
If you can remember the title of that.
You right.
But it was fun. I liked it.
Yeah, I'm still going to give it a due.
Yeah.
I liked it more than I liked Wolf Guy, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, barely. Barely liked it more than Wolf Guy. I'm just not a big Sonny Chiba fan.
Other than, of course, Sister
Just
Street Fighter.
right. Next up, we've already reviewed a movie called This Exactly, and apparently there's another one that I just fucking found. But this is David Heavener. If you remember our ever talking about David Heavener, or if anybody even remembers David Heavener, or has even heard of David Heavener, we're big fans.
Yeah.
The David Heavener version of Lethal Ninja. Or For Hire. This movie was also called
For
Hire.
Hire, yeah.
Because he is a ninja for hire.
I don't.
But he's not a ninja.
He's a ninja.
He dresses like a ninja and he does ninja stuff. But when you're like, yes, I've called for hire. I need to hire a ninja. Well, what do you need me to do? Well, I need you to kill somebody secretly, like an assassin. Oh, I don't usually do that.
don't
I
do
usually
that.
like butler and dressed as a ninja. Janitorial work. Sometimes I do VCR TV repair dressed as a ninja.
As a ninja.
But I've never killed somebody like an
No,
assassin.
I'm
That's
not.
really,
I'm not actually a ninja. No,
I guess I'm not a ninja.
More of an anti-ninja. Actually, there's only one thing. Like, if you call, I give you a card that says for hire, and if you call me and say, "Can you solve the societal problem of crime?" I will say, "Yes."
That's what he does.
For $1 million, because that's what happens
low price.
in this movie. Is he essentially blackmails the city of San Francisco
Correct.
for $1 million, but will solve its entire crime problem.
While also butlering and janitoring and doing TV VCR repair.
Yeah, and has a very strange relationship with the mayor. There's a really strange relationship with the mayor's son.
Yes, he
very
does.
odd. Because it's like, you want to think that he has a karate school, but I'm pretty sure the mayor's son is the only student. So it's
Yep.
not really a school.
And lots of hugging, and the mayor himself is weird, and like
The mayor has a bodyguard who's completely inept.
correct. And Heavener's just walking around being Heavener, mullet Camaro guy,
Yeah.
who is also a ninja,
Kind of.
kind of. I have to say, I think this is my second favorite ninja movie of all time.
It's not
I
even. Yeah, I guess.
Loved Lethal Ninja. I
There's-
was laughing my ass off
Oh.
at this thing.
It's absolutely hilarious. When you say your second favorite ninja movie, maybe you hate ninja movies because this is. The bad guys aren't ninjas.
Correct.
He's not a ninja.
He's not
This
a-
is not a ninja movie.
It's not a ninja movie, but it's called Lethal Ninja.
Yeah.
And he has the skills and talents and wardrobe of a ninja, but he is not a ninja.
No, it is the weirdest.
He's a private detective. Sort of.
Not even that.
He's not even anything. He's just for hire. That's his job. I'm for hire.
Yeah. There's very little difference to his professional skills, but as like he's the dude from the Big Lebowski,
Really,
basically.
he really is.
Only he's in good shape and he can moonlight with ninja skills, but he's probably on the dole.
On the dole?
Welfare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. The
On the
cheese.
dole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. No, zany, stupid. I think it's even a little self-aware of itself because it's a hammy here and there.
I don't know that there's any David Heavener directed films.
Mhm.
He stars in some movies that probably aren't self-aware, but when he's making a movie, he knows what
This
he
is
knows
really
what
dumb.
he's doing
This is
here.
really stupid. I
Yeah.
am clearly not a ninja.
Man, there's this like weird dynamic between him and the bad guy being former like best bros, and they have all these flashback scenes, and the best one is where they're playing basketball because Heavener is playing basketball in a skin tight tank top, weightlifting pants, and a fanny pack. Because there's things that you can't leave behind when you're playing a game of basketball that you need to have on you during basketball.
It's his utility belt.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's some chapstick in there. He's got some zinc for his nose. There's some sunglasses. You can't use any of that when you're playing basketball, but he's got it. He's got some sunscreen. He's got a few Band-Aids. They're all in there.
Man, yeah, I loved it. Total do. Get your hands on Lethal Ninja, the
Yeah.
David Heavener version. Man, amazing. Last but not least, Sam,
Are we going to do this?
we have to do
I
this.
know. It's so
We
bad.
have to talk about this film. It's
a calamity.
called Calamity of Snakes.
It's a calamity of humanity.
Oh my god. Okay, let's set the scene. It's a Taiwanese movie,
Sure.
I believe. Early 80s, I think 83.
It's like it's shot on tube video.
Yeah, very, very poorly made film. Where, dude, let's just,
We're just kidding. The PETA should have locked everyone up.
murder of snakes is what it is.
It was almost. I almost stopped watching it about 3 times.
About 3 times
Yeah.
because it was 200,000 snakes is what our estimate is
Yeah,
that they murder.
They at
And
least
we're not talking rubber snakes like the characters are murdering snakes. This is actual snakes that the film destroys.
they kill like 4,000 snakes in the first scene. Like, just
Yes.
it's gonna be too hard to fake this. Just dump as many snakes you can in this pit and crush them with a tractor. They light snakes on fire. There's a scene where they're throwing snakes through the air and someone is chopping them in half with a katana.
And then
And they're
watching
not
them
faking any of it.
watching their severed bodies roll around in the death rattle.
It is the most grotesque. Like, if you didn't like animal rights and you can watch this movie and not change your mind, you are one
You're
sick
a bad
bastard.
person. You're a bad person.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. You see this opening killing of snakes, and you're like, God, that's fucking horrible. Are those real snakes? Those are real snakes that they're... Okay, well, that's got to be just a one-time thing, because the very next thing that happens is so completely bonkers and dumb that you're like, oh, okay, this is what I'm talking about. This movie is
Yeah.
dumb and awesome.
Yeah.
It's stupid awesome. Everything you want in a shitty fucking Taiwanese film. And so you're like, okay, well, the snake murder's over. That was just like a fluke. That was just a fluke. And then you're 45 minutes in, and then there's some snakes getting murdered. And you're like, oh, God damn it, they're back to the murdering snakes. But by then you saw what happened in the previous 45 minutes. And you're like, well, damn it, I'm a bad person because I got to watch the rest of this because this movie is amazing while they're not murdering snakes. If it just wasn't for that snake murdering thing, it would have been one of the best movies of all time.
And the cocksuckers get you in to a point where you're like, okay, I'm still watching, you fucking assholes. And you know there's only about 12 minutes left in the movie.
Uh-huh.
That's when they start hitting fucking piles of snakes with flamethrowers for
With
real.
actual flamethrowers and running
Fuck.
snakes over and trampling snakes. It's a hotel gets invaded by snakes.
It's the Towering Inferno with snakes.
With snakes. And the hallways are, I mean, millions of snakes in this film. And guys are just walking down the halls, just there's nowhere to step without stepping on several snakes with each step. It's just so much snake murder.
Yeah. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible.
And for the entertainment of people. Because of that, I can't ever give it a do.
Don't
do it. Don't do it. Don't support this film, even though, God damn it, if they hadn't murdered so many snakes, it would have been just one of the most beautiful train wrecks of all time.
Absolutely. It would have been so funny and hilarious had it not been just a complete fucking tragedy in filmmaking. And at the same time, it's like one of those that you can't, like, you don't want to erase its history. Like, this,
Right.
that it needs to still, like, circulate and exist so that people know
This
you can't
is
fucking
why
do that.
you
That's
can't-
not okay.
You can't just kill fucking animals because some people are going to watch it on. No, get rubber snakes, you stupid bastards.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. Like, rubber is very widely available in 1983. Snakes are not. They're not going to be cheap to get.
I don't know. I mean, the way that they're killing these snakes is it's like the snakes are the cheapest thing on the planet.
They're like fucking bang snaps.
Ugh.
I would just think that rubber snakes would have been cheaper, or shoot around it. You don't. It just is. It's snake murder, is what it is. So don't do it. And now that we've ruined your entire fucking day, for something that happened in 1983 in Taiwan, I hope you were all in jail. People that made this movie, you should probably go to like a gulag or something like that, where
you should experience your own calamity of snakes.
Yeah, where they shock your balls, but the connectors are actual snakes. That'd be cool.
That would still be mean to the snakes.
That would be okay. You just let snakes bite their balls. How's that?
There you go.
Okay, ball biting snakes.
You dress your balls up like a mouse, put it on a heat rock, and you can't do anything until your testicles are halfway down the boa.
Oh no, it's up to my taint.
Oh no.
Next up is my pick, and it is one of the biggest, most beautiful picks of all time. We are getting to Neil Breen's Fateful Findings next week.
Oh, get ready
Prepare
for this
to
shit.
have your fucking mind blown.
Get ready, Jackie.
I've never seen it.
No, you haven't. Well, it's going to change your world. Thank you for listening to Stinker Madness. Please write to us, talk@stinkermadness.com. We want to hear some feedback from you guys about this and other episodes.
And obviously, I care because I picked Michael's movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michael M.
Yeah.
Thanks for the hour and a half.
I did a viewer recommend last week too, so you're just a dick.
Yeah, you're an asshole that doesn't read any of the comments.
Get to the chopper.
No, do it right.
Get to the chopper. How's it right?
Do it right. This is a Conan movie. You gotta nail it.
Get to the chopper! Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper. You're not the director. I'm making a podcast.
You make of the podcast. You shut your mouth.